Welcome back, Ultimate fans, to UltiWorld's live streaming coverage of the 2022 USA Ultimate Pro Championships, coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm Keith Rader, and I'll be joined by Sasha Vogel for a men's division semifinal, our last round of action today. And we have New York Pony and Boston Dig reigniting the classic New York-Boston rivalry in the semifinal round. Sasha, these are two teams that have experienced success this weekend, come from great Ultimate communities. Obviously, Pony is the top dog, but can Dig pull off the upset? What do you think?
I think it's possible. I mean, we just saw last round Dig upsetting Machine. Like, taking down Machine is not an easy thing to do. And I think that, they have the game plan, stick to their game plan. Like, it's pretty cliche, but stick to the game plan, and I think they can pull it off.
And Pony, far from a flawless performance this weekend. Like you said, Dig coming off the big win over Machine, although getting upset early in the bracket, Machine unfortunately making that a trend for themselves. So trouble potentially in Chicago. And yesterday, maybe there was concern about New York. They lost to the same Chicago team that Dig beat 14-12 in pool play. That's how they ended up in earlier in the bracket. And then narrowly defeated Denver Johnny Bravo on their way to this final. 13-12 in that. So it is not been smooth sailing yet for a team that I think a lot of people are expecting to come out and contend for, if not the favorite, for the national title this year.
Yeah, I think with this weekend we can see that honestly there's not that much separation between the top dogs in the men's division, and I think that creates for a really great nationals tournament coming up.
And these teams have been battling in the heat here in Raleigh. I mean, it is hot, it is humid. You can see that 47% humidity. It's going to put you in somewhere in the 60s probably for dew point. And these teams are playing on turf, and it is scorching on the turf. I mean, I know when I walk outside the cushy building that us commentators get to hang out in, it is like getting hit in the face with heat.
Yeah, it is hot out there. I've been out there all day, just kind of standing around watching games, and it is hot. Trying to find the very little shade that we have in this complex to find some relief.
Dig pulling in the blues to Pony in the whites. We'll get to see this star-studded New York offense. They are missing one of their stars, Jeff Babbitt. But no shortage. Sam Little and Chris Kocher getting early touches. High throw for Ben Yacht. He reels in on the sideline. Little's been having a fantastic tournament, but they're not able to connect with Harper Garvey, who can't secure the catch on the up line. So an early break chance for Boston.
Yeah, we'll see what this Boston D-line can do on this for the offense here.
Yeah, I mentioned that they beat a Chicago team that beat New York. Well, on the other side, they lost to a Johnny Bravo team that Pony just beat. So this matchup could be a lot more even than people might be expecting.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people were expecting Dig to, come out and be as, competitive as they have been this weekend as well. Just kind of talking on sidelines with other random, people around the complex. They're like, Dig's in the semifinals? Wow, that's incredible. So, shout out Dig. You're doing well.
Yeah, they've had a surprisingly strong season. I mean, coming into this tournament, they had a big loss to Machine. They lost pretty handily in that one. But other than that, I think they'd only lost to Bravo. They've put together a pretty good resume this year, and now I think they're starting to reveal that they could not only be a team that could be in pre-quarters or quarterfinals or nationals, but they could be a potential upset squad. They have a lot of young players, but they also have a couple seasoned vets to help keep things steady. Now their D-line trying to work on a break chance. Ben Field looking for options. Finds a reset and now swung around from McCann to Anders Olsen, back to McCann. Red zone set, and you can see Pony really looking to help in space. Low throw saved. And Ned Dick gets the first break into the end zone for Anders Olsen, one of the new additions to Dig, getting on the scoreboard, and Dig breaks Pony to open this semifinal.
Yeah, Anders coming from, you can see his Atlanta hustle hat coming from the Atlanta area, being able to, try to help this Dig team get over the top.
Yeah, he's Atlanta through and through. He's been a guy who played at Paideia, played at Emory, played with Chain, and now taking his travels elsewhere to Boston.
Another Atlanta person from the team, Jay Clark.
Yeah, some Atlanta connections up in New York, or up in Boston, and New York as well. Sam Little coming out of the University of Georgia on the opposite side. Chris Kocher, another Paideia alum. So there's a little bit of Atlanta representation all around these teams. So Chain not here, but plenty of former Chain along the rosters. Keegan Yacht, John Randolph, and Jimmy Mickle on the other side now, trying to rebound. And that's something that Pony's pretty much been doing all weekend, is finding ways to bounce back. They've gotten in plenty of holes, and they look like a team that just hasn't had a ton of time together lately. I imagine after some of their players played in the World Games, a bunch of their players played in the AUDL, and they played the World Club Championships where they won a world title. The team probably needed a little bit of rest.
Yeah, then, this is a great time to get those extremely high reps together before national championships in a few months.
Mickle into the red zone now. Stumbles into a catch. And a loopy crossfield throw looking for John Lithio and a big height advantage. Lithio easily secures it for a hold, so New York ties it up, but now gets the D-line out there with the hopes of getting back on serve.
Yeah, Lithio is a large body. He's a great addition to this Pony team. Last year he played in Tennessee with Tanasi, and he did really well with them. And obviously, if you watch the AUDL, he's been all over the place with New York Empire.
He's one of the limited examples thus far, but there are a few of players who I think really made their reputation and earned their spot in elite club play through the AUDL or through semi-pro play. We've seen that also for some players in the Western Ultimate League and the Premier Ultimate League, but in the AUDL, tough to find a much better example.
Yeah, John's a big body, great cutter, and his throwing has grown from watching him last season with the Empire to this season with the Empire. His throwing has grown exponentially. So he's a dangerous player out there for Pony, and I'm sure they're glad they have him.
Well, speaking of big bodies, we see one of the big bodies on this Boston offense. Dig's first O-line point, Ryan Cable, in the middle of their line. As the pull heads out of bounds, it's going to be fielded by Ethan Fortin. This is a young group. They've had a lot of success running through Cable and Leo Gordon.
Yeah, and a lot of these players coming from, as well, the other AUDL team up north from Boston Glory, as we see that nice run through D and gets it right back.
Yeah, wasted opportunity. Antoine Davis with a great run through D, but the throw to him was well short, and Gordon's all over it. So each player in that matchup with a block in short order, and it's back in the hands of the Dig offense.
Yeah, this Pony D-line is very athletic, very fast, and they stick to their person very tightly. It makes it really difficult for any offense to really get through it. As we see a huge hut go up from Orion Cable.
Yeah, a little too huge for even the speedy Gordon. I'm happy to watch him in Antoine Davis foot race, but that throw is going to need to be a little bit closer for anybody to have a chance of getting their hands on it.
Yeah, I believe it's a downwind throw. So it's just going to sail a little farther, drop a little faster, unfortunately, for Leo can't get to it.
There's been very little wind for most of the weekend, but it has started to pick up over the course of today.
Which is a nice reprieve from the heat.
It is.
Nice grab by Brownlee there.
Yeah, Brownlee securing that one after the shot from Grant Lindsley came in hot.
Grant Lindsley, another Atlanta product.
Another proud Paideia alum. Round break for Grant Lindsley. And Lindsley goes up to get it. So Pony breaks back. Each team with a break apiece, but Pony back in the driver's seat up 2-1.
Yeah, I think we just gonna settle down. I think everybody just needs to settle down a little bit. I think they're just taking some shots that aren't advisable, I guess you could say. But I feel like it's always these first couple points that we're just feeling, each team is feeling out the other team. They're kind of trying to see how the wind's playing on the disc, how it is in this little stadium.
Teams feeling each other out, although this late in the weekend, you're starting to get a real sense of what your own team is about. Starting to hone in on your identity, especially for a Pony team that has had a very strange season. We mentioned how all the things that have come across their calendar. And they're trying to navigate that challenge of the double peak, the original double peak, the World's Year World Championship and then following National Championship. And it's difficult to basically play two seasons in a sense back-to-back, or how much you make them a continuation. And then in the middle of that, you have the AUDL. So, is it a triple peak? I don't know. Depends on how you look at it. But they are 2 for 2 so far. Got the World Championship, got the AUDL Championship too.
That would be an incredible feat. I don't think there's been from my memory, I don't think there is a team that has done all three in the same season.
I don't think so. I don't think the AUDL's been around perhaps long enough for a team to make that claim. I'm sure someone will correct us if we're wrong there.
I know recently we had, North Carolina doing the AUDL college and club all in the one season.
Yeah, Raleigh's had an interesting weekend though. Ring knocked out in the previous round. Struggled on Saturday. So the narrative of Pony and Ring destined to clash again in the finals, perhaps getting a rewrite.
Ring's got to get through a pretty good truck stop team first, though.
And into the end zone it goes with Topher Davis. It's a quick little flip and nice work by the Dig offense. So both times, offense is able to respond to getting broken with holds.
Yeah, they were staying very patient on the end zone there. And it's something that I think every team should emulate. Stay patient, hit the shots that are open, and keep swinging the disc side to side across the field to open up that one shot that you need into the end zone.
Yeah, when people talk about comparing Ultimate to other sports or what Ultimate's like, sometimes you hear soccer brought up, and I think one of the ways that the game is like soccer is that there's no impetus to score outside of the advantage you get from scoring. There's a stall count, but there's no shot clock. You can take all day. So eventually a lot of teams can take that approach of eventually the defense is going to give us something if we just keep possession of the disc. If we just keep moving, they're going to have to make a mistake somewhere in here, and we can just attack that weak point.
Yeah, I agree. Defense is not easy in Ultimate. It's especially when you have teams that are very good at possession-based offense. As a defender, at some point you just kind of have to wait for the offense to make a mistake, and then that's when you can do your counterattack. Defense
is not easy, Sasha, and that's why I don't play it.
I unfortunately do play defense.
Hey, did you choose this life? Is this the path you chose to walk?
It is not, but, but I'll take it if I can just play some Frisbee.
So discussion by the Pony offense is This Dig defense gets ready to send the line down. Field again getting ready to pull, and John Randolph on the opposite side. A lot of college New England representation across these rosters. You got Saul Royschmeyer Bailey and John Randolph for two on the Pony side, and then obviously the Dig roster absolutely littered with players from Northeastern like Fields or Tufts, like Jack Carrero.
UMass and
yeah, plenty
everywhere.
of Gabe Colton from Massachusetts. I mean, there are plenty of different colleges represented in a lot, and including Brown, former teammates of Royschmeyer, Bailey, and Randolph, Leo Gordon and Ned Dick on this roster. And this is the second time we've seen this kind of junk look from Dig to start. It's probably, given that they're falling out of it pretty quickly, probably an effort to stop any pull plays or quick strike scores that Pony might come out with. Got to make them work for it a little bit.
Yeah, no easy buckets. See John Randolph getting free.
Kocher sees him too and sends it deep, and his college teammate Gordon can't quite get the block, but Randolph can't secure the catch after that.
I think Leo actually might have touched it just enough so that John couldn't get it. I think he pushed it just above his, make it go over his head. So
Olsen
just enough.
Around. Brendan McCann gets it ahead to Field on the defending brick mark. And then they continue throw from Olsen.
Wow.
And a big bid from Ben Field for another break for Dig. They're not backing down for Pony as they take a 3-2 lead.
That's an incredible way out. You know, it helps when you have a really nice long body like Ben there.
And Ben makes good use of it for the catch. This is a young guy who came up around Ultimate family. I mean, he's been around Ultimate since he was a kid, and now he's out here playing at the highest levels and making big plays. We'll see if Gordon got a touch.
Grab it.
Maybe the wind from him swiping at it
Maybe.
was just enough to knock it away from Randolph. And I mean, this has been the kind of problem that I think has plagued Pony throughout this tournament. Their O-line, which has at points looked nigh untouchable, just looks pretty regular these days. I mean, they've been a bit wanton with the disc. They're not necessarily looking like a firm defensive unit after the turn, and they're able to fight back, and they're able to put together some impressive strings of play. I mean, the talent level and the success they've had over the years is more than enough to be a bona fide for them. But this weekend has not necessarily been their best effort, and I don't think that any of them would try and claim that. But I think that they are also saying, hey, we're working through some kinks. We're getting ready for regionals. Right now, the Northeast, I think, sitting on a pair of bids, with these two teams being the ones who are claiming them. And I don't really think they have a shot at a third bid. Goat maybe had outside hopes of getting in on second-order effects, or even probably behind Bravo maybe, but I don't think that's happening. So I think these are the two teams that are going to be favored to take the bids with Goat as the top challenger.
Make for an interesting regionals.
Yeah, Northeast Regionals has a long reputation as being an event where surprises can happen.
Yeah, I remember the most recent college season. Nice little flick to Ben Yacht there for the score. Yeah, I remember the college season. The USAU decided to, allocate bids a little differently because of COVID years and all that fun stuff. And there was probably 5 or 6 nationals levels teams up there, and they only had 2 or 3 bids, and so that made that regionals pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the region as constituted now, in addition to Goat, there could be a challenge from a team like Sprout, who's pretty strong. Northeast Regional is not going to be a layup for these two teams. So honing their skills, I'm not expecting them to go in thinking they're going to get another practice weekend. Dig offense back out. Here in face-off with Brownlee, Spielman, Conrad Schlor, and the rest of the New York D-line.
Brownlee with a really big, nice bit pull all the way to the end zone line.
Send it up to Forden and Cable on the ISO to begin. Cable getting marked by Jabron Meeser. Should be an interesting matchup to watch. How Meeser's explosiveness contends with the size of Cable. Dig offense just marching backwards right now.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Pony is forcing them to try to make these underthrows, but also being close enough to contest every underthrow that makes Dig not want to throw those.
Charles Weinberg gets it and winds up a huck to the ageless one, Josh Marquette. And Cricket has no problem bringing that in. So a nice hold.
One of the vets you were talking about earlier.
I mean, he's basically worth 2 vets. I mean, the guy's played 2 careers worth and is still out here outrunning the kids. You know, just the Callahan winner. See you later. He's pretty casual about it, too. Every time I try to rib him about being an old guy, he's like, yep, but I'm still good. I got it. I'm feeling good.
So you see the crowd on the hill next to the field. That's my favorite spot in this entire complex right now.
Yeah, an angle about as high as ours. So it's a good way to catch a game.
And they can see both semis happening right now.
We'll make sure you got a pretty good seat from where you are, especially since chances are if you're watching this, you're probably doing it near some air conditioning, which those poor folks don't get.
I think we're on a heat timeout now. Yep, we are in a heat timeout.
Team's taking a quick break, and it gives us a chance to talk to you about Breakmark. Now, Breakmark's bundles are the best way to get a full, affordable Ultimate kit for your team. You get a dark, a light, shorts, and a free reversible, and you get entered to win a team prize. Everything your team needs to play good and look great. Get your order started at breakmark.com. Teams have been taking these heat timeouts throughout the weekend. So we can see the other semi. Truck stop getting ready to pull after another score. It's 5-3 over in that semifinal. And for those who are looking to catch that one, you can watch that game if you are an UltiWorld Full or Plus subscriber. Not just that game, but every game that we filmed this weekend, and there are many. We're filming 4 games around as we tried out our field pass for the earlier rounds where you could watch 3 simultaneous games. I was lucky enough to be a part of that broadcast and that experiment. But that means that all of those games got filmed. So our Full and Plus subscribers will have access to the full library of Great Club Ultimate, not to mention all the stuff we've got from World Championships. It's been quite a year, Sasha. If you got to travel around, participate in some of this crazy Ultimate, I mean, you got AUDL and WWL, Western Ultimate League, and WUCC, and World Games. I mean, it's been something else.
Yeah, I've been traveling with the Tampa Bay Cannons this season, the AUDL, and as well, I was able to go up to Milwaukee and watch the college championships. But other than that, been at home watching the rest of them.
I know, but there's never been a better time to be at home watching Ultimate.
Oh yeah,
this has been a great year of watching Ultimate, and I know you got a chance to play with the Cans in the AUDL, and you're wearing probably the best jersey in the AUDL as we speak.
Yeah, the Cannons Heritage jersey.
An inspired design, to say the least.
It's my favorite jersey I've ever owned. So we see the mixed team from Boston, Sprocket, a couple of them hanging out next to the field watching Dig.
Yeah, Sprocket had a great weekend until it all kind of came crashing down. with a surprise loss to Class E, but they were they were winning universe point game after game after game.
Yeah, I think they went 3-0 the first day, all universe point games.
Couldn't make the last comeback that they needed, though. Just a few too many
Unfortunately.
times they fell in a hole.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty strong team to be able to make those comebacks. I think, Sprocket just needs to use that same momentum in those comebacks throughout the entire game, and they'll be fine.
And when you look at this Boston scene, I mean, you see this Dig team, you see the strength of Brute Squad, but also they have Siege and always a number of mixed teams. You got Sprocket, Slow, Sprout's not that far outside of Boston, Wild Card. I mean, they're replete with talent. That's long been the story for the rich Ultimate community of Boston. Harper Garvey resets to Lithio, and then he gets it off the line. Yacht gets it around to Lithio with fielding coverage. And nothing
Nice
to it as Keegan spots Little springing open in the back of the end zone and hits him for a hold to tie back at force.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of Ben Yacht on O, and if I'm not mistaken, when Jeff Babbitt is here with the team, he's not here this weekend, but if Jeff Babbitt's here, Jeff Babbitt's been on O, correct? And they've been pulling Ben Yacht over on defense?
Yeah, that's kind of been the pattern, but it's hard to say because in some ways this Pony team feels like this is their debut for the club season.
Yeah.
And it's tough to say what their decision is going to be to decide how to utilize those players. I mean,
both are
dare
incredible.
I suggest you could put both on the same line and just be totally unstoppable?
That would be fun to watch.
Yeah, surely they've gotten out there together before.
I mean, I guess on trying to break to half or universe point lines, stuff like that, they've definitely been on the field together.
They certainly provide a lot of field expansion for Pony.
Vertically and horizontally.
Absolutely. Jeff Holm with the pull for Pony. Randolph crossing over to the defensive line. Underneath to Peter Borth. Cricket over to Weinberg. Weinberg, a nice addition for this Boston team too. Now Backer, the captain of this team, and if you're ever around them, really the vocal leader. Michigan alum finds Cable. Cricket looking for options. Gordon nearly cut off by Kofer, but Cricket squeaks one by.
Nice little inside break.
Yeah, Marquette just dancing free. I mean, he knew the look was to him. If he could just set up a hard cut towards the open side and then stop and come back, there might be room for that inside look.
And I think this is like the main end zone offense that almost every single team is playing now. It's just it's essentially a dominator with the three top, whoever's there. Most of the time it's handlers. And we see it a lot through, and I think Ring kind of made it popular, like the Raleigh scene kind of made it popular, but we're seeing it with almost every single team now. It's like the new meta for end zone offense.
Yeah, I call it the triangle since it seemed to be popularized by North Carolinians, and it kind of runs on a three-person principle. You have your reset, your downfield player, and your thrower, and you just work it with the three of them. But it is really tough to stop. The marking rules have gotten to the point where it's hard to really be a really physical mark. Defense is as hard as it ever was, and players are getting more and more skilled so that they have the variety of throws, the different options to really attack space. And it's really hard to stop. There's a reason everybody's running it these days.
And honestly, that's why defense is so hard, is because everybody is starting to get so much better at throwing.
Jay Clark with the pull. Zone from Dig. High throw. It's towed in by the backwards toe in from Harper Garvey. Little able to get that by the mark to Mickle.
Nick Patel doing his best to try to limit what Mickle wants, which Mickle wants the disc.
And there you see that Mickle move. I mean, there are very few players who do it in the way quite that he does it, just where he kind of steps like he's going to throw a backhand and then brings the disc and his body back the other way without his feet necessarily coming with him, and reaches around for a forehand.
I call it the Jimmy Shimmy.
Well, the Jimmy Shimmy is a signature of Mickle, and it's a deadly move. Kocher, as you can see, a few steps outside the end zone. This play is getting ready to reinitiate. Keegan, unavailable on the reset, but Yacht's there at the front cone. So New York with a pretty casual hold, make it 5-5. And on a weekend in which we haven't seen a ton of clean ultimate, I mean, these teams have 5 turnovers between them. Offenses are looking pretty solid.
Yeah, and you know, offense is, you got to have perfect offense in Ultimate, obviously. I know a lot of other sports, you don't need to necessarily be perfect on offense to win games. But with Ultimate, like, defense literally wins games in Ultimate. And you need to, for offense, you have to be perfect. You have to, you know, if you're on the O-line, you're trusted to score every single time. If you're on D-line, you're trusted to make it so it's harder for the offense to score. And if you can score, score. But, you know, offense, you got to be perfect.
Yeah, it's the pressure of the offense's responsibility. I often will say that I think offense actually protects your ability to win the game. It's hard for the offense to win you the game, but they can keep you from losing it. And the defense attacks the ability of the other team to win the game. So if your D-line can get you some breaks, suddenly the other team's ability to win the game is starting to shrink, and yours just increases as your O-line holds that edge for you. Cable underneath. Around the horn for Cricket. Challenge throw by Conrad Schlor. Simon Carapella takes it as a stoppage. Brings play to a halt.
There's a pick call downfield.
Carapella coming off a breakout season with Northeastern. D1 men's.
very nice low inside flick from Leo Gordon there. That was pretty.
Yeah, Gordon flashing some other skills. I think he's known really for his quickness and his speed, his ability to attack downfield, but showing he is a threat with the disc in his hands as well. Carapella basically stopping and backpedaling into that cut, and Gordon just able to rifle it in. And that sets up the easy score for Cable. Cable enjoying a cold towel, trying to stay cool in the heat here. Played at the World Ultimate Club Championships as well. There's a number of players here at this tournament did, some with their teams like Pony, but Cable actually playing with CUSP, the men's team out of Bologna. CUSP La Fota.
CUSP's also the team that Goose Helton was playing with them as well?
And Goose Helton and Kirk Gibson, okay. I believe.
They made a nice run through the bracket.
Yeah, but I think probably ultimately disappointed as the Italian men's side has really shown some strength with that generation. And I think that they're able to contend with any team in the world, and weren't able to quite make the same dent that some of these other clubs were. And I'll be curious what of these roster changes from this 2022 season will stick. How many of them were influenced by the World Championships? Be interesting to see how that mix-up changes things as we get into the next year. But we still got a couple months of season ahead of us, postseason really. Begins after this week. Been a lot of conversation about bids, bid watch as we like to call it. And we'll be eagerly waiting to see how the results affect the bid picture. Because the algorithm does not discriminate between consolation play or finals. They don't care. They just want to see scores.
Algorithm doesn't care. Algorithm is fickle, as I like to say.
Kocher underneath. Cody finds a reset, and then Lithio taking a shot to Yacht.
There's that throw from Lithio I was talking about earlier. Last year, I don't think he would have pulled the trigger on that. This year, he's a lot more confident with his throws, and they look great.
Yeah, he's not just a play finisher. He's not just a big receiver. He is able to come under it and do work.
He's very similar play to like a Henry Fisher on ring. Big body, can go downfield fast, but also can, if you force him under, he'll throw.
Ben Yacht, one of the models of the modern big body player. A lot of length, the size, but a surprising amount of quickness and skill in his game as well.
He's a very smart player. He knows the spots to be in on offense and defense, and he does it very well.
Yeah, if you can't see how good Ben Yacht is, yeah, you need to wipe whatever's in your eyes out of the way, get a clearer view, because he's been having a very productive past few years of his career. And on the Deep Look podcast that Charlie Eisen and I host, Yacht felt fully in consideration to be a potential World Games player, but it feels like he has the talent, and that could be in the cards for him. Staying on for defense here. He'll match up with Orion Cable. We're talking about modern big men. Cable, the next generation.
I'd love to see them battle out in the air downfield here.
Well, I'm in for it. I in the air, on the under, I don't care. I just want to see it.
I'm here for big plays, Keith. That's what I like about Frisbee. Big plays.
You might be in the right place then. These teams have taken it a little easy, but I have a feeling there's some good stuff on the way.
We had that one incredible layout by Ben Field earlier.
Nice stutter step to create some separation. Now backer over to the break side and continued into the end zone. Weinberg gets the score. Steps over the body, laid on the ground, and comes back in. And somehow Dig is now just a goal away from taking half. I mean, this has been a fast first half of Ultimate.
Yeah, and I think Dig is... We're not on serve. I believe Dig is up a break, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Dig started the game with a break.
Yeah, on defense. Okay. So yeah, if they can, I mean, they obviously want this break, but if Pony ends up scoring here and then Dig ends up holding, we're going to go into half 8-7, and then Dig receives coming out of half.
See Antoine Davis taking a rest. One of the new additions for Pony's roster. Weinberg, a new addition for Dig. So we see the new players are making their presence felt. Pony adding Davis and Lithio. Saul Worksmeyer Bailey.
As well as John Randolph. It's a lot of new additions to this Pony team.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dig, has maybe 7 or 8 players joining the roster this year. Gordon, Weinberg, Carapella, Olsen. Keegan, no stranger, no new face on Pony. He's been here for quite a while.
Long time.
He and Weinberg, both former Delaware players. Not at the same time, but I believe each are out of the University of Delaware. Randolph underneath and then taking a shot just past Ryan Dinger to Lithio. Lithio is a cool customer, huh? There are those folks who advocate that people should act like they've been there before for scoring, and Lithio always acts like this is just another day at the office for me.
He's used to scoring at this point. Cool as a cucumber. Just catches the disc, drops it, done.
Dinger so close to making that play. But not enough to stop Lithio. Gets in the end zone for his second score to go along with that Huck assist he threw to Ben Yacht. So the New York O-line has found some rhythm. Haven't turned it over since they got broken for 3-2. Although neither is Dig. He was only turned over on 1 point in this entire game. And now, if they can keep that trend up, we'll take half.
Yeah, this Dig O-line is looking very clean.
Timeout on the field. The teams take a break. Trying to gear up for the point for half. Let's see what the numbers are from this one. So we're even on the scoreboard, and you can imagine that may lead to a pretty even set of stats as well.
Yeah, we were talking about that Dig O-line not turning it over, and there you have it. 5 holds, 5 clean holds. 2 total turnovers. It's been a pretty clean game so far.
Yeah, they turned it over twice on 1 point, but that was the point that they got broken on. But they've had 0 other turnovers. No D-line, no O-line. They've converted on both their break chances. And, these two teams fighting for a spot in the Pro Championship final. And they'll take on the winner of Washington, D.C. Truck Stop and Raleigh Ring of Fire. Truck with a 7-6 lead That game is available for Ulti-World Full and Plus subscribers. As there's the large library of footage we have from this tournament and others this season. Plus, you get access to other subscriber benefits like our bonus segments for all of our podcasts, including mine and Sasha's.
Yeah, Keith doing the Deep Look podcast, which runs pretty much year-round, and I'm on the Double Overtime podcast with Jenna Weiner, talking about the professional Premier Ultimate League and the Western Ultimate League for the women's side. And those run through those seasons.
Yeah, it was great to have that new pod on the air. These two teams battling, and maybe is that the mistake? No, Marquette's able to bring it in. And Dig looking pretty conservative at this juncture. Gordon looks to line up a deep cut past Davis, but Cable's in space.
This Dig team is not afraid to just keep grinding these resets and these unders. Only really big throw. Oh, there's the other big throw. I was about to say the only real big throw we've seen was that turnover that Orion Cable had earlier.
Perfectly placed shot from Gordon to Weinberg. Strong half for the youngster Leo Gordon. And the half is over after that score. Dig with an 8-7 lead. They also have the break advantage going into the half.
Yeah, I mean, coming out of half on 0, ready to, try to get up by 2. And, the way this O-line is going, they're doing well.
Score from Leo Gordon here, gets the assist, and it's helping Dig. They're up 8-7 with a break lead on the reigning world champs. See in the second half to see if they can close it out.
There is a place where we are us at our best.
A place where everyone is welcome.
Regardless of age, shape, skin color, or anything else that tries to box people in.
A place where we defy the odds, defy the naysayers.
And even defy gravity.
A place where it's accepted that success
doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave, to the determined.
A place that knows grit, knows grace, knows bright lights, and knows empty bleachers.
A place where we remember to laugh.
Where we learn to trust.
Learn to high-five strangers.
And eventually, even learn to fly.
A place where character, community, and competition
are all as balanced as a disc in flight.
That place isn't in a stadium or on a field.
That place is in the spirit of our players.
Because we don't just play Ultimate, we live Ultimate.
Layup block. Almost unstoppable. Nickel the Kocher on the back shoulder, no less. Sheeta hammers. Fisher uncorking a big backhand. Taylor all alone. Cochran has a deflect, but catches on the second effort layout score. Nickel in the area, he goes up. Jeff Babbitt reels it in. He goes up big and he goes up strong. Mansfield breaking the mark. Hatchet gonna bend a big forehand to the far side. Oscar delivering that to Cousins. Out throws the hammer. Ben Spielman with the point block. Mansfield with a big layout block to get it right back. White, big bendy backhand. No one for Ring can stop Joe White. Unleash the big forehand, looking for who else. Can anyone slow down Joe White? White, strong cut. Not many players going to burn Williams like that. Gantz is free for the deep throw. Look at that block. Old Jurek, the man they call deep. That's grade A right there. And Vandemortel dials up a bomb of a backhand. Looking for Jurek. Full field. Jurek gets the bookend. Sub-Zero gets the break.
What would it look like if a competitive sport didn't mean a choice? Between beauty and brutality, style and steel. Between calling yourself out and clawing to stay in. What if there was a game that found balance? Between spirit and sport, agony and elation, like a disc dancing on air.
We now have evolved into a team sport of a game called Ultimate.
It stands by itself in that it is like no other game.
Between perfect passes and devastating drops. Like the balance we so desperately needed, we had no choice but to create it ourselves. Long live grit and grace. Long live Ultimate.
Welcome back to Ultiworld's live streaming coverage of the USA Ultimate Pro Championships here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Dig with the upset bid against Pony, and in part Charles Weinberg, strong first half, helping them get there. Weinberg, a new addition to Dig, and has been making his presence felt.
Yeah, he's been doing really well as Leo Gordon has been almost quarterbacking this offense for them. And this offense is looking very clean, very nice, and they keep this up, you know, we might be seeing this upset.
Those two connecting for the final score of the half and putting Dig out in front, and they're going to come out in offense to start their second half. So we could be seeing ostensibly upsets in both men's semifinals. Truck Stop trying to fight off Raleigh Ring of Fire, and both teams working to disrupt the collision course many would have put between Pony and Ring of Fire.
I mean, if both upsets, Pony and Ring have to play tomorrow, so maybe that is a collision course.
That is a great tweet. if that's what happens, I think that would have made a great tweet. We've probably soured it now because we took it first. And it has been a clean game. We have not had a turnover since it was 3-2 in this game. So
yeah, both teams taking the shots that are open, going just marching up the field. As we see the bracket for the men's side of this tournament. Truck Stop took half on Ring of Fire, 8-7. You can watch that game if you're an Ulti World subscriber, as well as all the other games that have been filmed this weekend.
yeah, a number of close games on the way, and so it's appropriate for these semifinals to be hotly contested. So if you had to pick right now, I'm going to put you on the spot, Sasha. Pick right now who's winning this game with the information you got.
Information I got. Honestly, I think Pony pulls it out. I think that their defense, they have great coaches that are going to tweak some very minor things, and they're going to be able to get those turns off of those tweaks, I believe. And I believe that Pony will be able to pull this game out like they have so many times before.
Follow-up question. How many goals would Dig have to be up at halftime for you to pick Dig?
4.
8-4? Okay. That actually probably tracks. I think that we've seen Pony fighting back from down and behind teams plenty of times. So I do think that their past performance is going to make them the favorites here, Babbitt or not. Marquette, marked by Brownlee, as there's a pick call downfield.
And I think one of these minor adjustments that they're making is Ben Yacht is on the D-line right now.
Yeah, Yacht has played a couple of D points, and that seems to be kind of a pattern right now for Pony is they'll send 1 to 2 of the guys who sometimes play O-line out almost every point. John Randolph, Ben Yacht, Sam Little, Chris Kocher. Guys who all have played roles on the offense, but have also gone out for a couple D points. Gordon, covered by Davis, is now forced to look high stall, but finds Carapella.
I'm really liking
absolute rip away by Marquez Brownlee, using that length to jump the lane and pull it away before Cricket could get to it. Conrad Schluer just outside the end zone, and then we'll take the little baby pass into the front cone for Grant Lindsley. Nice point for Schluer, but it's Brownlee who makes the big highlight play to get Pony back even with Dig.
And here's where it starts. I mean, that was just one mistake that Dig made. Like I was saying earlier, that when you're on offense or when you're on defense, you just have to kind of, wow, what a snag. Let's watch that again. He just gets in there. Wow. But yeah, on offense, or I guess on defense, you kind of just have to wait for offense to make that one small mistake and take advantage of it. And Brownlee definitely took advantage of that one tiny mistake of leaving it just a little too close to him.
And that is, I believe, the second actual block of the game. Leo Gordon had a block on Brownlee, ironically, in the first half. But now Brownlee with the takeaway. Turnovers have been hard to come by, so a block is pretty valuable at this point. But Pony will need another break to take control of this game. It is still Dig, who leads on serve. So if both offenses were to play the way they did for most of the first half, it'll be Dig taking home the narrow victory.
You see Jeffrey Holm, the pole there.
Back to work for Dig's offense. Ryan Dinger, the early harbinger of the growth of Vermont College Ultimate. Former U20 player for the U.S. national team, and then went to Vermont and kind of had some buzz around Vermont maybe being an upset-worthy team, and it took till now to get it. But that Vermont team was felled by Brown in the Northeast Final this past year. That Brown team led by John Randolph. Gets the block.
That was a great layout block. Another small mistake by Dig that Pony is going to take advantage of here, or hope to take advantage of.
Ben Spielman flips it over. So Shankalati back, and now with Randolph. And this is part of the reason I think that this team likes to bring over some of these versatile O-line players who can play defense, Randolph and Little, both out there, because they can really command the offense the other way. Little high stall, but finds Clark Kofer just outside the end zone by about 10 yards. And then a push-off call, I think, against Ben Spielman.
Yeah, Cole Moore saying he pushed off on this cut here. Looks like they're coming to the observer. Observer saying it was a push-off.
So Kofer will get it back with Dinger on the mark. Spielman gets free honest this time. Physical defense by Dig, trying to stop these cuts out of the stack to the reset space. Little to Alati, and Alati gets a second straight break, and Pony has flipped the script to start this second half.
Punctuated by a great layout. There it is, by John Randolph. He got pumped after that. Spiking it into the sign. And that was what we probably could consider the D2 line, the second defensive line for Pony here, giving the D1 line some rest after their break. Now we see the D1 line back on.
So Dig now searching for answers all of a sudden. I mean, their offense had been nearly perfect in the first half, and just like that, Pony has seized the lead. Deep shot from Forden, looking for Cable, and the big man can't quite get a hand on it. Benyat crossing over in coverage.
To me, that's not a great decision. There was a lot of defenders downfield, and yes, Orion Cable's a large person, and he is very good in the air. But there's also, when you have three other people back there as well on defense, it makes it a lot more difficult. Especially when one of those people is Benyat.
Oh, and here's your jump ball between Cable and
wow.
Yacht. And Yacht said, "Not yet, young fella."
Yacht putting Orion Cable on a poster there. Get your Orion Cable posters at the pony store.
Yacht said, "You may be the future, but I am now. This is my time."
That is 3 straight breaks out of half for Pony.
And Dig is just all of a sudden their offense has just been neutralized. 2 blocks on resets, and then Brownlee maybe getting a piece of that huck from Fortin. So it's really been the handler defenders for Pony who've taken over defensively.
Wow. And again, with that huck that Fortin had, like, Brownlee was in a flat mark. That's, you know, to prevent the hucks from happening, and I feel like that's why the huck wasn't as, it had to do this weird loopy thing because he had to get around Brownlee, who's a very large, he has a very wide wingspan. And, you know, usually you don't really throw, you know, hucks against, you know, people with wingspans larger than yours that are doing a flat mark. And I feel like that was, you know, the mistake.
Well, Marquez Brownlee has found his niche. He's found the thing that he does, and that is guard big throwers and harass them, and then use that wingspan to help take away throwing options, to help break up reset passes. I mean, this has become his bread and butter, and it's not a glamorous role, but why does he need glamour? He gets it elsewhere. He's got plenty of notoriety. People know who he is, and he doesn't have to earn extra with flashy plays, although he's known to make a few of those too.
I say millions know who he is.
A veritable empire.
So we saw the coaches for Pony. Cody Mills, a recent move to New York from California, formerly coach for Cal Poly Slow, took them to nationals into the semifinals one year.
Hope Coach Revolver as well. I mean,
Yep.
Mills has won a number of Ulti-World coaching awards as well as work with Ulti-World. That's some of the best analysis work that we've ever had. And runs FrisbeeRankings.com. He's very present in the Ultimate community, and it's unfair to add him to this team. And Cable, not going to get the spectacular highlight to get it back, but making a score look very easy.
I believe that was Cricket who threw that. Yep. He was wide open. There was no one within 5 yards. When the throw went up, I should say.
Easy buckets for Cable and Marquette. And finally, the Dig offense punches one in. But all of a sudden, they're the ones who are playing from behind.
You know, with Dig, we've seen that their defense is pretty tight. But I think they have to just tighten it up just a tiny bit more to be able to, you know, force this Pony team to make their mistakes. Might need to see some big plays from, you know, different people on this D-line as well.
First Pony offensive point of the half. So this group's just been able to sit back and watch as their D-line has recaptured the advantage.
So they might be a little cold. I mean, they're probably not cold because it's hot, but might be a little cold from playing for Frisbee playing, I guess.
Dig back to their junk set to try and muck things up to start the possession. Doesn't stop Mickle, Randolph, and Pony from advancing to near the brick mark on the attacking end. And that's too easy. You talked about D-lines. You don't want to make it easy. No easy buckets. That check mark, that box can't be checked off for that point for Dig's D-line.
And I guess Pony isn't cold. So they stayed warm.
Maybe it's like a nice ceviche, you know, just refreshing when served cold. Maybe they like it cold.
I'm not a big ceviche fan, so.
Who knows if these New York guys are? But isn't that the kind of reputation of the coastal elites?
Thought New York does pizza.
They definitely do that. Although, don't tell anybody, but I'm from just outside of New Haven, Connecticut, and New Haven is very prideful about their pizza and a lot of rivalry between New York and Connecticut pizza. Keith Rayner joined by Sasha Vogel here in the booth for the second half of this men's semifinal. Our last round of action here. Two teams fighting for the finals. We will have 3 finals tomorrow for folks at home who want to come and join us to conclude this awesome event here in Raleigh. We'll lead off with the women's final at 9, the mixed final coming at 11, and the men's final at 1 to finish it off. One of these two teams will be there. Will you?
Maybe.
Brownlee with his second pull, I believe, out of bounds. And Sasha, I'm going to float an idea by you that came up. Daniel Prentice, one of our other commentators, and I discussed this at an earlier broadcast. Should there be a penalty if you pull too far out of bounds? I proposed half field instead of the brick. If you pull like 20 yards out of bounds or something, should it be even worse than pulling just like right next to the sideline?
Honestly, I don't think so. I just think we need more discs on the field so we don't have to run 20 yards outside the field to get the disc. Maybe Brownlee is pulling out of bounds because he's used to a wider field.
It's possible. The AUDL field is going to give you a little more room to work with. Cable underneath, now covered by Antoine Davis. Gordon underneath as well, and now looking to the end zone to Cable, just tiptoeing along the line, and all the credit there to Leo Gordon for an ambitious and difficult throw that's well executed.
It's a very nice throw. Not something I would throw, probably because I don't have it. Maybe I do every once in a while, but yeah, it's a very nice find, perfect little shot.
Yeah, I would absolutely never throw that. I'm far too conservative a thrower. That is not a risk I'm willing to take. But I don't know. I guess I don't got it like Leo Gordon, you know? That's why I'm up here and he's out there.
I mean, exactly.
Ryan Cable with the hat trick now. Not quite as impressive in our sport as it is in some of the others, but
I think we should keep stats on, like, you know, double-doubles and triple-doubles type of thing for an entire tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love me a good tournament double-double. The triple-doubles are hard. We do catch a couple at Nationals every year, but they're pretty hard to come by.
I've gotten close to a tournament double-double, doing Ds and assists, but never gotten the full thing.
Well, the easy way to get there is play College Ultimate in a zone game, because then usually the DP piles up a bunch of blocks, and your 1 or 2 throwers who are good get all the assists.
Yep.
Randolph, no stranger to piling up stats, college level, and again, Dig comes out with that junk look. They're not really pressing any clamp down on the reset buttons here. They're willing to give up some of these resets in order to make sure that Pony can't advance quickly.
Nice find by Jimmy Mickle.
There are few players as comfortable throwing over the top as Mickle is, particularly with that blade. But it looks like Dig this time is actually staying with it. And then now perhaps transitioning to match up. Mickle to a completely uncovered Keegan. A lot of switching on the part of Dig. I was mistaken. This is clearly not a matchup set yet. They're staying with the junk. And it is forcing opponent to throw a lot more passes. Those passes are not super hard, but they are happening in greater volume.
I mean, that's the strategy for a zone offense, is to the more passes you throw, the more likelihood that it's going to be turned over. But Pony staying patient, getting it through. Nice little scoober up to John Lithio for the score.
I agree with the theory, but at this moment, I just don't know if it's the right button to push, given that you need turnovers. I mean, you can't settle for just making them slow down. You've got it. You are a bit up against it here, and now that you need to be perhaps a little more accepting of risk here, rather than risk averse. And I think going zone is a pretty conservative choice with that loose of a zone,
especially when they're going. Pony was going downwind here, as far as I can tell from the flags in the background, is that they were going downwind. So, throwing a zone there makes, honestly, the throws a little easier. My favorite thing to do in Ultimate is handle in a zone, because I can throw whatever I want, obviously, depending on the wind. But I love handling in a zone, and especially when that zone is forcing us to, move downwind, then it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I got to agree. One of my favorite things in Ultimate is absolutely handling in a zone. But one of my other favorite things in Ultimate, a nice reversible. And my favorite price is free. And Breakmark wants to give away, yes, I said give away 1,000 reversibles to the Ultimate community. To get yours, all you have to do is order any of their new 3-piece bundles, getting you a full kit, light, dark, and shorts, for as little as $75. Go to breakmark.com to start getting your free reversibles today and help them meet that 1,000 reversible goal. Team's taking a heat timeout. And, a player who's been hot this game, Leo Gordon, the young star from Brown. One of the few players in this game still playing at the college level, but showing he can do it at the elite club level too.
Yeah, he's got the throws, he's got the speed, he's a great player. And he's got the tongue.
Yeah, I'm sure his parents are going to be glad that shot was the one that we captured. So the teams will collect themselves from the heat. We'll give you a chance to get yourselves together and geared up for a run down the stretch with Pony up 12-10.
The last 50 years have seen a lot of positive change
around a whole range of important issues.
And some things remain reassuringly unchanged.
Like the spirit of our game.
Ultimate is 50 years young.
And still a perfect circle.
Of fair play,
athletic pursuit,
and camaraderie.
In fact, Ultimate was a social network.
Before social networks even existed.
Respetamos nuestras diferencias.
And understand the value that they add.
The revolution of the disc in flight continues to prove
that there's nothing we can't achieve
when we
pull together.
Long live Ultimate.
Larga vida Ultimate.
Long live Ultimate.
Welcome back for what I'm going to call the fourth quarter here as we come down to this one. Pony with a 12-10 lead on Dig. Strong start to the second half for the New York side, coming back from a deficit to get back in front. And now they've got Dig on the back foot.
Yeah, that Pony D-line came out firing in the second half. They were ready. They wanted it, and they got it. And, now Dig has to claw their way back. And, I think that, we saw that Zony point recently, and we were talking about it, and we both don't think that's the right move. I mean, we're obviously not coaching the team, so it could have been, what their game plan is. But, personally, I think you just got to talk to your D-line and say you got to get really aggressive. You got to go after everything. Stay in the pocket of the person you're guarding.
Yeah, at this point, you need some variance. Extra risk is tolerable. And I don't necessarily mind a zone. But if you're going to pick one, it's got to be aggressive. You got to be trying to create pressure.
Talking about aggressive defense, we had Antoine Davis getting that through block there.
His second block of the game. Here's Yacht up the line past the bidding cable and into the end zone for Spielman. Spielman's just going to jog off into the night. Looks like as he gets Pony a 3-goal lead. And I mean, if you were just tuning into this game, you might feel like this has been the way it's been all game. Pony just in the driver's seat, fighting off his feisty dig team. But this has been a strong run in the second half for New York.
Yeah, they look like, you know, the better team now. You know, earlier they were kind of it felt kind of flat earlier. It was honestly kind of boring, and they looked flat and, you know, not much excitement. But now they're ready. That body control by riding cable on that bid though was very nice.
Yeah, Cable trying to make the play without trying to put the cutter in harm's way. But it's the O-line who's been hurt for Dig. Got halfway there, played a great game, but just haven't been at the level in the second half. Conrad Schlor getting ready for pulling. Schlor having a busy summer as well. Played the World Games team with the German national team and was fantastic as their key defender. And you could just see how much his game has grown. He could be in for a big campaign for Pony.
Yeah, he's been tasked with Leo Gordon for a lot of the game, and at least the second half, and it's been a lot of there we go. It's been a great matchup to watch, and you know, he just won that one.
Yeah, you know, Sasha, I'm glad that you're here, but at this very moment, I wish that my compatriot for so much of the weekend, Daniel Prentice, were here, because he kept giving me a hard time for Curse of the Commentator. But sometimes you get the broadcaster's blessing, where you talk nice about a player and all of a sudden they make a big play. Appreciate the support.
What are we coming in on?
Conrad Schlor.
3. Okay, all right. We saw 3. Hold on. 3. Your check.
So I think a pick call on Shashank Alati's score, so it'll go back. We'll push the rewind button and get it back to Royce Meyer-Bailey. Alati resets. Now it's John Randolph. Looking for Royce Meyer-Bailey. And the college teammates do what I'm sure they've done so many times. They knew exactly what the other one wanted there. And into the end zone, Randolph goes for another break. And now you're just looking at a regular Pony win. I mean, it's 14-10. So no longer the taut battle we had earlier in the day.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, Conrad Schlor on Leo Gordon was definitely one of those small, you know, tweaks that the coaches did during halftime to be able to, you know, limit Leo, obviously. And yeah, because Leo Gordon has had his hands all over this game.
So Pony now in prime position to advance to the final, where they'll take on the winner of Truck Stop and Ring. Truck Stop with a 13-12 advantage against the reigning club national champs. Truck absolutely crushing Ring in pool play yesterday. This time getting a much different type of contest, but still with the edge in that one. Dig trying to fight to try and close the gap the same way Ring has against Truck. They've got a long way to go to feel like they have any claim to trying to win this one.
We've seen crazier things.
I have, but not many. Not
not
many
many.
more than Pony giving up 5 or 6 straight to Dig for the game.
Especially with Cap going off in about 7 minutes, too.
Be a heck of a comeback. Brownlee ready for the pull. See if we can nail one in bounds.
He did it, Keith.
I believed. I was up here just believing as hard as I can. He'll draw in with Marquette. Backer, deep shot, just gets over the stack.
Oh,
and a bid
wow.
from Carapella, but gets onto that trailing edge, but cannot pull it in. It's one of the difficulties of getting that disc in from behind it.
Yeah, as a right-handed player, you want to do that. Like, you want to grab it with your right hand. I know it's difficult, but sometimes the left hand is what you need there because those come straight into the hand. And as a right-handed player, it's really difficult to get that in your mind as you're running. So
Pony can break to win this game, and I'm sure they love that. Tuan up ahead to Little, and Little's got a target, and he launches. Kocher trying to get a read on it, but the sun looks to be in his eyes, and Gordon beats him to the spot.
I like the decision. The throw wasn't very great.
Yeah, if that's a flatter throw, I think a flatter throw and maybe a little lower.
Yeah.
Kocher's probably just running that out. Although I'd love to see Gordon give chase.
Jack Hatchett with the disc now.
Marquette finds Backer around, and Backer winds up another huck. This one to Cable, and Cable this time breaking free, so no sky necessary.
That was a really pretty throw.
And Backer taking 2 tries, but the second one he dialed up perfect.
In the perfect position so that only Orion Cable would be able to get there. If you saw both of the defenders that peeled off on him, both stopped because they knew they weren't going to be able to catch that because that throw was perfect.
Yeah, Cable's got time to even give one of those celebratory open hands. I don't know if there's a name for that, the extended clap. But we all know it when we see it.
Yeah. I've also seen people drop those.
Yeah, another thing that I'm just far too conservative to try and do. A little too paideia, I think, for me.
I like doing the celebration after I catch the disc.
I'm of the same mind. So Dig staying alive with that score. Ring and Truck back to even, 13-13 in that one. And our subscribers, our Full and Plus subscribers, get to watch the end of that. So if you're feeling like you got to see it, just hit ultiworld.com/subscribe and find out about how to get access to that game and all the other benefits you can get. Benfield getting ready to pull.
Pony 14, Dig 11, Dig to 15. Ball does land out of bounds.
And that pull out of bounds. Get a chance to see the matchups that Diggs going with this time around. Yacht underneath against a bidding field. Mickle takes the yardage loss to get it in the middle of Randolph. High stall, and Keegan calls a foul, trying to make a real shortcut. Chan was waiting on it. I mean, he is expecting it and thought he could just jump the lane, and Keegan's going to say, not without contact, you could. Okay.
I'm literally not moving.
I mean, you definitely were moving.
Okay, guys, it sounds like we're not coming to an agreement here. Neither of us had a clear view of it, so we'll treat this as a contested call.
Send it back to you?
Yeah, well, neither of us saw it clear, so we'll treat it as a contested call. So.
I mean, you not just helmet?
I mean, I think I'm playing physical, yeah, but I think I'm holding my space.
You're like coming through me.
What's coming in on?
Clarification.
Yeah.
I said 6 coming in on 7.
Max of, it's
max
contested,
of 6?
so it's max of 6.
Cool, 6. So
Yeah.
6.
We'll be selling 6! Selling.
He's coming in at 6.
I think Sean Keegan would talk about that until tomorrow if Tyler Shane lets him.
Oh, for sure. They're still talking about it.
Yeah, they are, which is weird because it's over.
It's over.
It's done. I do think Chan hit him in the arm, but I'm actually not sure if it had an impact on the play. So
yeah, I think his arm was definitely in the way.
Yeah, like I think Chan was basically in a position to get the block and then hit his arm after the play, but it was pretty close.
But
turnover
look
though
at
for
that.
Pony, so
I'm not going to say it.
I appreciate
I'm
that.
going to say it. Just don't lie.
Oh, you couldn't hold it up. Couldn't hold it in.
Couldn't do it.
One of my least favorite idioms of Ultimate. Olsen, power position, sending one to Chan versus Keegan. Chan comfortably brings it in, and Dig breaks. They're not done yet, folks. I hope you wrote Pony to the final in pencil because it's not a sure thing. You think Tyler Chan told Keegan "Dis don't lie" after he caught the disc over him too?
Honestly, I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah,
that was clean.
Now that I've seen it, now it's even more clean.
That's super clean.
I don't doubt. I don't doubt that Chan hit.
Oh yeah.
Keegan at some point in that. I just don't think it had impact on the play. So Diggs D-line does what they need to give themselves a chance. And pretty much one of the only players I think that they've chosen to cross over during this game is Leo Gordon, which I think speaks pretty highly of the youngster.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, this is probably one of the youngest players in their whole team. And still, he's getting the call to go both ways.
I think he's used to playing a lot and grinding a lot with the way that Brown runs their system.
And now he's got to match up with John Randolph. That's got to be our request. There's no way the coach is just saying, "Hey, Leo, you want to guard John," without asking his permission. I think Leo says, "Hey, I know how to guard him. I can do this." Ooh. And if he said that, he might have been wrong, because John Randolph breaks free and sends it to the end zone for the game. Sam Little with the catch. Pony going to the Pro Championships final. Shocker, I know. Big upset against all odds.
I called it, Keith.
You did. I asked you on the spot, and you took your position, and were proven right.
I kind of know what I'm talking about sometimes.
That's why you're here.
Sometimes. Yeah, Sam Little just broke free and was wide open for that last score.
So Pony will advance, but who they will face in the final is still up for grabs. Going to Universe in that one. Truck receiving against Ring of Fire. That tied at 14. Those two teams battling for the chance to take on New York Pony. So that game in the background is, we get our stats from this one, and I mean, we should probably break these down into each half because Dig really had the stronger first half. You see all those clean holds. Many of those came in the first half. 5 of them, 6 of them in the first half. So their offense was really pinned down by Pony. And the Pony guys are actually jogging over to watch the end of the other game. They don't want to miss it. You probably shouldn't either. I mean, you know, just hit the little ultiworld.com/subscribe button. Both teams came in with some energy, came in with clear eyes, full hearts, but only one proved that they can't lose. Dig got off to a great start in this one. A couple breaks for each side, but it was Dig who got the second on that spectacular grab by Ben Field. And we're able to hold on with fantastic offense from both teams in the first half. Looked like they really could pull off the upset, but
yeah, Pony, you know, changed the way they were playing a little bit, and you know, forced Dig into doing things uncomfortably, getting great blocks on him, and then you know, punching him in.
Yeah, these aren't just show ponies out here. They're thoroughbreds, and Dig just not ready to keep up. Pony fighting for a pro championship and perhaps putting themselves back at the top of the conversation of championship contenders. 15-12, New York do work. Pony with the win. They'll be in finals. We'll see you there with them.